Hey guys, how you doing? Studs Fried here. Happy Tuesday. Just thought I'd stop by, and the open beta ended like midnight today or something like that, the 5th. And I played a little bit of it. I also played the private beta. And I had a few thoughts about it, about the game, and about the kind of player I am, which I'm somewhere between casual and hardcore. I do play games regularly, but I don't take them too seriously. So I guess that puts me right in the middle. But the thoughts about the game. I played it a few more hours. There's a couple of videos came out today of what I did over the weekend. Spent a little more time with it, went back, did some stuff that I couldn't do before. I figured I'd give it a fair shake. I found out, in the open beta, there was things fleshed out. There were areas that were open that weren't open before, and a little more than I got in the private beta experience, which is fine. If you can tell I'm not over enthused, I'm not. The thing is, it's a great game, but it's not my game. I guess I'm just not quite the looter shooter, at least not in this genre. Now, I played a lot of Borderlands. I played every Borderlands game ever made for hundreds of hours. I can't see myself doing that with this game. Mostly because, well, for one thing, there was something real telling about it. It seems simple and seems inconsequential, but the hardest thing for me to do when I was making the videos for this game was to come up with a thumbnail, because I like to take snapshots of the action. And I've got about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of video that I recorded. And in 4 or 5 hours of that video, I was hard-pressed to find anything that was really exciting, that really got me enthused. That's kind of telling. Yeah, it's a lush environment. It's deep. It's detailed. The way the loot drops are, they're well spaced out. They reward people who are, hunters. If you think something may be in a little hidden space, it probably is. I love the little touches in it, like the deer and the stray dogs and stuff like that. In fact, I kind of got the impression when I was playing the game that every time you saw the deer actually kind of led you to where you were supposed to go. Not so much with the dogs, but it seemed like every time I kind of followed the deer, he led me to something. And there was a moment or two, and maybe I'm just an overly sensitive lump, but when I actually kind of felt a little misty about the whole deer thing, like in the private beta, I had a little thing where I went up to a second floor of a building, and the deer was just standing there alone, looking scared in the midst of this, devastation. And it kind of reminded me of most of the people watching this probably don't remember the commercial, but there used to be a commercial about in the 70s, everybody that was like littering and throwing stuff on the road and all that. And there was this one commercial where this Indian standing on the side of a mountain looking over a freeway and sees the trash, and he turns and he cries. He's got a tear running down his face. And it's like, it kind of had that vibe to it to me. Okay. So, okay, that's kind of a little victory there, but to be honest, there just wasn't anything in it for my kind of game style. You see the stuff I'm playing. I'm playing a lot of Battlefield 1. In the classic games, we're doing an X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I'm doing Bioshock Infinite. In the past, I was doing Path of Exile, RPGs. A game has to engage me. It has to have a good storyline. The Division 2 and the Division doesn't. It's a good setting. You understand why, but you don't really care. You get missions, and I can see you just kind of grind through it and do what you need to do to advance. And the way they make it challenging is by basically making almost impossible challenges. Like, a lot of the people you're going to go up against are bullet sponges. The weapons you have are really ineffectual. I was having a lot of trouble with controls where he would like get stuck or would do something I didn't want him to do, and I'm hitting the right key. just stuff like that, which made it real frustrating. And it turned me off. And it's like, I don't want to have to work that hard just with trying to control the character when I've got other things to worry about and, all these guys coming at you. Yeah, the AI is kind of stupid, but I'm actually kind of glad the AI was stupid. Because if they were any better, I wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in the game. There's stuff to like, but I think you're going to have to be a hardcore Division fan, honestly. And I'm just not. I wanted to try it. I wanted to give it a good shake. It looks good. I didn't see any major glitches or things. My problems were primarily with some of the design and the game mechanics. And that is the player control wasn't there. Overly complicated controls. Weapon selection. You don't even know. I mean, you switch a weapon, and I'm like, I didn't know for 5 minutes that I had switched to a semi-auto from an auto. I was wondering why, I was getting, single fire action out of a big gun. It looked like it should do a lot more. The other thing is in like the crafting and getting it. Well, I didn't even really get to the point of crafting, but getting like the bartering. You can't tell. I don't know if I'm selling stuff that I'm equipped with or not. I don't want to end up selling something that I want. It's hard to tell that. The menus, other people have said it too, but the menus are too deep. I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm going, what it does, why, what's the relevance of this. You're just supposed to discover all this stuff. Well, in the meantime, you keep getting slaughtered because you've got the wrong armor or the wrong gun, or you go to the wrong place, something like that. Things like, it was kind of neat that, occasionally I saw other players in the beta that show up, other real-life players. And I even tried to respond to a couple calls for backup, but nobody was there. And there's no way to really contact these people that I found. The graphics were okay. Nothing to write home about. It was very much... It felt like an open world Rainbow Six, kind of. Except with worse weapons. That's my take on it. I don't know. In fact, one of these videos, I think this one here, I get 16 minutes of it. I called that one the daily grinder because I wanted you to get a feel for what I was going through actually playing the game. So I didn't edit out the parts where I was doing all the bartering and upgrades and talking to Coop and all that stuff. So this is what it's like. This is what you have to go through. And none of it is very intuitive. That's the other thing. It's like, there's a definite learning curve here. This is different. This is even different from Rainbow Six. I do much better in Rainbow Six than I do in Division. But I don't know. Let's see if anybody's joined in here to see the... Nope, nobody's watching. Oh, anyway. My final verdict is, if you like the Division, if you like this kind of looter shooter, then definitely go buy it. I've got nothing personally against the game or Ubisoft or the devs. I really appreciate the fact that they let me in on betas, the private and the open, and that they didn't have any NDAs, so they let us share the experience. That's pretty ballsy. So, I can't fault them for that. But it's just not my game. In fact, frequently, it seems like a lot of Ubisoft games end up being kind of coming to that end. I mean, like Rainbow Six Siege is a great game, but it kind of caters to the hardcore, stat whores, I call them. Not my thing. So, I mean... I'd have to give Division 2, if I was on a grading scale like A to F, I would probably say B-. A lot of good elements, seem to be real well executed, but it's not my style. It's not my, I don't like games that are grindy just to be grindy. When there's really, if you're just pissing me off and not giving me something to go for, who cares? That's just kind of how I am, but it's not a bad game. Certainly not the worst we've seen in the past 6 months. Certainly not a Fallout 76 or anything like that. There is effort here. It's just not my style. And if you watch my videos, look at stuff on my channel, you'll see what my style is. I like to have fun. I like action, or I like good thought. You know, I used to love with shot glass. I used to love playing Portal and stuff like that. You know, co-op games and stuff, figuring stuff out. You know, I mean, I only started really liking Battlefield multiplayer and when I started playing Battlefield 1. I mean, I played Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 multiplayer, but I didn't really start enjoying it as Battlefield 1. And it's a good experience, and it feels more level and more balanced. This just feels a little grindy. And I gave up on Path of Exile because it was grindy, and I don't know. God, I must have had like 600-700 hours in that game over 5 years. I know lots of people have more, but that was a big investment considering that I'm not a professional gamer or a professional YouTuber. So I have to do other things to try to make money. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for watching my videos. And I appreciate you being here. You guys have a great evening, have a great week, and if you buy the game, hey, enjoy it. Guns out.